Welcome back to another episode of Balance of Power. I'm Sally, and today we're diving into one of the biggest geopolitical flashpoints of the moment, Greenland. The recent U.S. delegation's visit has stirred up tensions, leading to debates about U.S. influence, Denmark's sovereignty, and whether Greenland should break away entirely. Joining me today, we have Ryan, who believes that the U.S. is acting within its rights and even sees an opportunity for Greenland to benefit, and Andreas, who thinks this is blatant overreach. Buckle up because this one's gonna get heated. Ryan, let's start with you.
Thanks, Sally. Look, this situation isn't as dramatic as people are making it out to be. The U.S. has long had strategic interests in Greenland, military, economic, and geopolitical. The idea that this visit is some sort of power grab is just overblown. The fact is, Greenland could benefit enormously from stronger ties with the U.S. economically and in terms of security. Denmark has been slow to develop Greenland's potential, while the U.S. is actively interested. That's a good thing.
A good thing? Ryan, come on. This isn't about helping Greenland. This is about the US flexing its power at a moment when Denmark is in a delicate political situation. The visit was planned in a way that was, at best, tone-deaf and, at worst, intentionally provocative. The people of Greenland have spoken. Most of them don't want to be part of the US. This whole thing reeks of an attempt to exert influence under the guise of diplomacy.
All right, let's break this down. Ryan, you say Greenland could benefit from closer ties with the U.S., but doesn't the way this visit was handled undermine that? The protests, the backlash from Danish officials, surely that's a sign that the U.S. miscalculated here?
I won't deny that the optics could have been better. But let's not confuse public sentiment with long-term strategic benefit. Look at Greenland's economy. It's reliant on Denmark, and honestly, Denmark hasn't exactly prioritized investment there. The U.S., on the other hand, has the resources and the incentive to do so. Greenland's vast natural resources, its location, and its potential for economic growth make it a perfect candidate for stronger U.S. involvement.
But that's just it, Ryan. The US isn't interested in Greenland for Greenland's sake. It's about positioning, about military advantage, about keeping an eye on Russia and China. And don't pretend like this isn't also about Trump's ego. He's been obsessed with Greenland for years. And this visit, even with its scaled-back scope, was another way of saying, hey, we're still here, we still want in. The people of Greenland deserve self-determination, not to be used as a pawn in some geopolitical chess match.
I see where both of you are coming from, but let's talk about Denmark for a second. They're in a tough spot, pushing back two hard risks, straining relations with the U.S. But if they don't push back at all, they look weak. Andreas, do you think Denmark is handling this the right way?
They're walking a tightrope, that's for sure. But I think they've been too cautious. There were already signs that this visit would provoke a backlash, and yet they let it happen. Some Danish supermarkets are even labeling European products to push back against American goods. That's how deep the frustration runs. If Denmark wants to maintain credibility with Greenland and its own people, they need to take a firmer stand against this kind of interference.
And risk what? Denmark needs the U.S. as an ally, especially in today's geopolitical climate. Pushing too hard could backfire. This scaled-back visit might actually be the best outcome for everyone. Greenland avoids full-blown protests. Denmark avoids a major diplomatic incident. And the U.S. still gets to maintain its presence. It's a compromise, not a crisis.
Interesting take, Ryan. But let's be real. Does anyone actually believe this is the end of the story? Trump is known for pushing boundaries. If he's this persistent about Greenland, what happens next?
More pressure. More diplomatic maneuvering, more efforts to sway Greenland politically and economically. This isn't going away.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. The world is shifting, and Greenland has a unique opportunity here. It's just a matter of how they play it.
Well, we'll have to see how this all unfolds. Ryan, Andreas, thank you both for bringing the heat today. And to our listeners, what do you think? Should Greenland push away from Denmark and embrace U.S. influence? Or is this just another case of geopolitical posturing? Let us know, and we'll see you next time on Balance of Power.